International Academy of Bnei Baruch presents Dr. Michael Leitman in a series of virtual lessons on the science of Kabbalah. Hello. We are broadcasting a virtual lesson in Russian. Today we have a distinguished guest, professor, doctor, and famous Kabbalist, Dr. Michael Leitman. We begin today the series of talks devoted to Kabbalah about everything. Today we have the most interesting and maybe most important topic that precedes a series of other topics that we're going to discuss. We're going to be discussing the topic of men and women. If you do not, if you would like to, we would like to start it. Go ahead. We've collected the questions from the internet. Hundreds of people, men and women, that really that are interested by this topic. I can say from the point of view of Kabbalah, only Kabbalah, questions which are not Kabbalistic, the questions that people ask. This is what people are interested in, obviously. The first question is why man and woman exist. Why the creature has these two parts, not something universal. Men and women in our world represent the structure of the universe that has been created flawed, corrupted to begin with, and that in correcting itself has to reach integral perfection. Great. Can you say the same thing in simpler? The creature is one. We have the upper force that created the creature, so that this creature would reach the level of that upper force. The Creator has made man the so-called soul, so that that soul would reach his level, the level of himself, of perfection and eternity, so that that structure would be able to reach such a perfect state. It has to go through all stages of its development, of the nature of the upper world, which is called the Creator, and to perfect itself to reach that level. In order to help a person reach that level, to grow and build himself and develop himself to become a perfect and eternal creature, and it is possible. That human being has been created a certain environment around him, and it is around everybody, about all of us. And that environment consists of myself and all the others which fall into my spouse and everybody else who are the environment, who are my environment. Entire humanity, and naturally the living nature and animal nature and vegetative and still. All of that together has been intentionally split into classes and sub species in order for the person, by correcting himself, would be able to include inside him all of these parts of nature as one integral whole, and then he will become equal to the Creator, each and every one of us. I understood this part, but Misha didn't read the question to the end, and it is a funny question. Why wasn't something one wasn't created? Like say a wife, not a husband, then you're saying that one creature was made. Just a second, it says, I told you that the creature is one, but in order it was created such, but in order to allow him to reach perfection, it was created into various parts, still vegetative, animate, and human nature in our world, classes and species, and so forth, so that the person, by working on himself, would be able to incorporate all that nature inside himself, including the men and women. So indeed, we are men and women, all of us are one whole. The universal creature, when we reach spiritual to our corrected level, It's one. There are no men and no women. All is united in the one soul. And to begin with, we are aspiring to that subconsciously. And at which point it falls into men and women. Where is the origin to that of division men and women in this world? That split happens in the spiritual root. We count 5 worlds, and on the 4th world above us, the very exalted world, which is Absolute, there's a split of 2 parts. And from there, the 2 parts, the female and masculine part of creation come from, and here it materializes in everything that is existing into plus and minus. Men and women, female and masculine part, plus and minus. Who is the plus and who is the minus? It depends on the point of view. You tell me. I don't have any difference with plus and minus. From my point of view. Tell me from my point of view with the plus and minus. It's not important. No, there's no division. And this is, everybody decides for himself. The plus with minus and minus with plus. These are 2 complementary parts of nature. It can't exist without the other. I will determine who is the plus. It doesn't matter how you defined it. What's important, it's not important what is the plus and the minus. What's important, how they combine and integrate between each other and bring themselves to perfect level. That on the mutual complementarity, adding to each other, they reach perfection. What's the matter? We have a question from David from Philadelphia. Question is as follows. Men are humbled by the beautiful beauty of the woman, and women are following the tight wads and big millionaires. Women are more rational. They don't follow emotions as easily as men, and therefore their values are depending on that are different. They value everything in life depending on the guarantee of survival. And man pays attention to everything in the world from the standpoint of fulfillment, of pleasing himself. And that's the fundamental, the cornerstone difference between man and woman part of the universe. And in that they can complement one another, add to one another, without the fantasies of man, fantasy and dreams of man and down-to-earthness of women. You can't create anything. You said that there is a certain attribute and qualities that are instilled in women to begin with, and in men as well. They have to be different, right? I don't understand, really. Tell me, if these are 2 different parts of creation, they have to be different. A woman is the attribute of reception, the attribute of earth, the attribute of gravity, the quality of vitality, supplying life, procreation, and men are its attribute of detachment from reality and so forth. And for all of creation happens based on the man part, masculine part. But does this development happen? Women part. If there is spiritual root for this admiration of women by men, there is such a phenomenon in this world that it's enough for men to watch women to have pleasure. Women do not have any pleasure in watching even the most beautiful men and what they have. So, and the people and men that actually can be pleased by an abstract object. So people that are building muscles, depending on what the purpose is. If a man doing, in general, all men do in this world is in order to be admired by women. But from their standpoint, so they're wasting their time, right? Musha says,